If you guys will recall, Missouri had a number of players who really boosted their draft stock last spring. Darius Robinson went from a potential third round pick all the way to a first rounder being taken by the Arizona Cardinals. Ennis Rakestraw was another guy who was a massive riser, and the Lions ended up trading to grab him in the second round. And in the 2025 draft, I think Mizzou has another player who is going to be a major riser on draft boards. Missouri right tackle Armand Membou is an absolute monster who I think might be a starting tackle at the next level. In an offensive line class still searching for some major studs down the board, how high could Membou be taken in the 2025 NFL Draft? That is what we will be discussing in today's video. But hey guys, if you guys are new to the channel, consider hitting that like and subscribe button. Also, be sure to check out my Patreon page, where for $5 a month, you guys will be given exclusive access to my in-depth draft guide and big board. There, you guys will get my full scouting reports, positional rankings, and all the advanced numbers you guys need to help get familiar with prospects in this draft class. It is some of the best work that I have put together, and if you enjoy my NFL draft content, I highly recommend checking it out. Leave a comment and let me know which prospects you guys would like to see in a future video, and without further ado, let's get into it. Membou is a player who has been generating a ton of hype throughout this pre-draft process. The son of Cameroonian immigrants, he will be 21 in March and has been absolutely remarkable for Mizzou throughout his college tenure. In 2023, Membou played in 876 snaps. He allowed 14 pressures and 2 sacks while playing all of his snaps at right tackle. In 2024, however, is really where he broke out. He allowed just 9 pressures with 0 sacks in 827 snaps. He was absolutely exceptional and has been a major riser on draft boards. Membou is an incredibly impressive athlete who really improved his lateral quickness in 2024. He made Bruce Feldman's Freaks list in 2023, and for good reason. He stands at 6'3", 314 pounds, and according to Feldman, has only 18% body fat. On top of that, he has the ideal length and wingspan that you look for from NFL caliber tackles. Another thing I love about Membou is he's incredibly explosive off the line of scrimmage, who had a 10-yard time of 1.63 and a 20-yard time of 2.80. He also can squat 600 pounds and is just an absolutely freak athlete with tools that are going to translate incredibly well to the next level. As a run blocker, he did a great job of climbing into the second level and helping clear running lanes. He also had good change of direction and could readjust himself and put himself in better position if he got beat to the outside in pass protection. When you turn on the tape, Membou's strength is what's most apparent. He is one of the strongest tackles I have watched all cycle, and he is a bulldozer. He just runs dudes over and has a mean streak that he plays with. He has powerful hands and does a remarkable job of swiping away defenders, which I loved to see. There are still some inconsistencies with his hand placement, but I think there is a lot of good there. He's an incredibly gifted athlete with strength and athleticism in both the pass and run game that really excites me. Membou is far from a perfect player though. Technique-wise, I think he has a couple of things he needs to clean up. We mentioned the inconsistent hand placement, but the area I am most worried about is his lunging. It seemed like he really struggled at times and didn't have the proper footwork, and he ended up lunging way more than I would like to see. I think with a good offensive line coach, this can get cleaned up at the next level, but this is an issue that taller tackles have and tackles that play high have, and unfortunately, Membou falls into the latter category. He does play a little bit high at times, and I think if he played lower to the ground, the lunging would not be as much of an issue, but unfortunately, it is at this point. Another major concern I have is I felt like he disengaged way too early. He has good anchor, and if he gets the proper hand placement, it looks fantastic. But sometimes he lets go of defenders way earlier than I would like to see before the quarterback has gotten rid of the football, and I just hate to see that from any offensive lineman. It's a major reason why I was lower on J.C. Latham last year, and I see a lot of the same questions with Membou. Lastly, Membou did struggle against power rushers sometimes. While he does play with a level of nastiness that I love, it's not always apparent, and against more physical defenders, he had struggles at keeping his balance, and he looked out of control at times. Once again, this is something that I think can get cleaned up, but there are certainly question marks there. Armand Membou is an absolute beast and a freak athlete. He's going to test off the charts at the NFL Combine, and I expect him to be a major riser at the Senior Bowl. He does a very good job in pass protection with solid hand placement and good anchor. He's an athlete who can clear lanes in the run game, and he's going to be a fan favorite. There are going to be concerns about his technique and if he can be a full-time tackle at the next level, but I think he can be. Despite people wondering if he's going to play guard, I think Membou will be a tackle at the next level, and I have him as my number 8 tackle in the class and my number 48 overall prospect. In terms of a scheme fit, I think Membou would be awesome in a power blocking scheme. Whether it be at guard or tackle, I think it is totally dependent on the situation in which he is drafted in, but I think he could thrive at both. He has the size and the strength to play anywhere, but given his power and nastiness as a blocker, I think he's best suited in a power blocking scheme, and I would keep him at tackle. My pro comparison for Membou is New York Jets offensive lineman Elijah Vera Tucker. Tucker has played everywhere for the Jets throughout his career. He's played tackle, he's played guard, he's played center, and he's an incredible athlete with raw physical strength and is a big-time contributor in the run game. Membou has a lot of those same tools, and he's a little bit bigger, and I would even argue a little bit stronger than Vera Tucker. I think a lot of those tools are going to translate very well for him to the next level, so that's my comparison. Armand Membou is an animal. He is a nasty blocker with physicality and athletic tools that are rare to find. He has everything NFL teams should be looking for, and if an offensive line coach can fix his technique, I think he could be an amazing player at the next level, and ultimately, I believe that Armand Membou will be a top 50 pick in the 2025 NFL Draft.